At Sierra, discover great deals on top brand workout gear, like high-quality walking shoes, which might lead to another discovery.
40,000 steps, baby. Who's on top now, Karen?
You've taken the office step challenge a step too far. Don't worry, though. Sierra also has yoga gear. It might be a good place to find your zen. Discover top brands at unexpectedly low prices. Sierra, let's get moving.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Listening to this podcast? Smart move. Being financially savvy? Smart move. Another smart move? Having State Farm help you create a competitive price when you choose to bundle home and auto. Bundling, just another way to save with the personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
This is Optimal Living Daily. I was not a minimalist until I was. And Walk a Mile in My Blisters, both by Joshua Fields Millburn of Minimalist.com. And I'm Justin Malik. This is the award-winning podcast where I read articles to you, hopefully adding a little bit of inspiration, motivation, or happiness to your day. This is all with permission from the websites, by the way. So with that, let's get right to it as we optimize your life. I was not a minimalist until I was, by Joshua Fields Millburn of Minimalist.com. I am not an expert. I just play one on the internet. Or rather, I wasn't an expert on anything until I was. You see, at 18, I didn't know how to be a leader. But then I took an entry-level sales job, spent a decade working my way up the corporate ladder, and eventually led a group of 100 people in 16 locations. Over time, I slowly became an expert at inspiring and leading people. At 22, I didn't know how to run a successful business, but then with no formal education, I learned. In the course of time, I opened 14 profitable retail stores for a large corporation, managed a $52 million operating budget, and eventually oversaw the operations for 150 retail stores, which I realize now as a minimalist is a bit ironic in retrospect. Over time, I slowly became an expert on business. At 25, I didn't know how to get in shape or lose the excess weight that plagued me. But then I changed my diet, began a simple exercise routine, and lost 80 pounds. And now people regularly rely on me for diet and exercise advice. Over time, I slowly became an expert on health. At 27, I didn't know how to live a meaningful life. But then I confronted my discontent, spent 2 years paying off immense personal debt, and started looking for happiness in life's most important areas: health, relationships, growth, and contribution, not material possessions. Over time, I slowly became an expert on intentional living. At 28, I didn't know how to be a minimalist. My 3-bedroom home was filled with trinkets to prove it. But then I started questioning my stuff, removing one by one the unnecessary things from my life, eventually jettisoning 90% of my material possessions, replacing them with worthwhile experiences. Over time, I slowly became an expert on minimalism. And at 29, I didn't know what a blog was, seriously. But then I needed an outlet to share my experiences with other people. So I asked my best friend Ryan if he'd be willing to build a website and share his experiences and my experiences with the world. He said yes, so we created The Minimalist, started publishing essays, which we later realized were called blog posts, and grew our readership to millions of people in 190 countries. Over time, we slowly became experts on blogging. Now, approaching age 30, I didn't think it was possible to leave my corporate job to pursue my dream of writing fiction, but then I discovered it was. I'd already simplified my life, paid off my debt, changed my spending habits, and radically reduced my cost of living. So I sold my house, paid off my car, eliminated nearly all my bills, and moved into a tiny $500 per month minimalist apartment. And then I quit. Now people frequently ask me how they too can stop living the lie and start living their dream. Over time, I slowly became an expert on leaving the corporate world in the pursuit of dreams. At 30, I wasn't a published author. I had a stack of rejection letters from agents and publishers to prove it. But now I've published 4 best-selling books on my own and co-founded a publishing company, Asymmetrical Press, where we help writers and other creative types circumvent the old guard. Over time, I slowly became an expert in the publishing world. Last year, I didn't think I could be a teacher since I don't have a college degree. But then I learned I could use my training experience from the corporate world combined with my love and passion and obsession with writing to add value to people's lives. Thus, I started an online writing class. When the class quickly filled up, I was shocked, so I offered an upgraded online version for everyone. Most important, my students, ranging from teenagers to PhDs, have found tremendous value, have grown as writers, and have given me the opportunity to contribute to their successes. Over time, I slowly became an expert on writing and teaching. I didn't tell you any of this to brag or boast or inform you of how great I am. I'm far from great. There won't be a life-size bronze statue of Joshua Fields Millburn occupying the streets of Dayton, Ohio anytime soon. I'm flawed and tattered and perfectly imperfect, just like you. I wasn't able to do any of these because I was smarter or better or funnier or more toothsome than the next guy. Instead, there were 2 commonalities among all these paths to expertise: time and action. None of it happened overnight. It took time, and it wasn't easy. It took consistent action, incremental actions that morphed into habits over time. Now, when I look in life's rearview mirror, everything is different. Over time, I slowly became an expert, and so can you. Walk a Mile in My Blisters by Joshua Fields Millburn of Minimalist.com. I'm seated on the warm side of floor-to-ceiling windows in a half-empty cafe, a black coffee on the table in front of me. A thick sheet of ice coats the sidewalk outside. Winter clouds hang over everything, the sky the color of a wet hippopotamus. Graceless, a song by The National, is playing softly through the overhead speakers. Outside, a woman in a pea coat is traversing the icy walkway tentatively, planting each step with great care before planning the next, her arms outstretched and palms flat as though she's praying for less gravity. Her prayer goes unanswered, though, and with one misplaced step, she slips backward. Her arms slice the air violently, hands grasping for something that isn't there, until her backside finally connects with the concrete. Thwop. I wince. Not because I feel her pain, literally, but because I feel her pain figuratively. As the woman's rear collided with the pavement, a twinge reverberated throughout my body. I too have fallen, so I know what it feels like. Or rather, I know what it feels like to me. And this is a key difference. Whenever we tell someone to walk in our shoes, we're simply asking another person to put herself in our position for a moment, to be sympathetic of our circumstances. But when we do this, when we walk a mile in someone else's shoes, as it were, we're still approaching the situation from our own biased perspectives, which still may not allow us to empathize with the person who's loaning her sneakers. You see, sympathy and empathy are not the same thing. Sympathy understands someone's pain. Empathy feels it. Suffice it to say, we can never be truly empathetic. We can't feel what another person feels completely, but that doesn't mean we can't try. When we care about another human, we must do our best to understand their pain. Ergo, sympathy is our first step toward empathy. We must wear another person's shoes before we can experience the blisters from their daily trek. By sliding into your sneakers, I can better understand what it feels like for me to walk in your shoes, even though I'll never wholly understand what it's like for you. I might not feel the weight of your journey, not totally at least, but I'll certainly be closer after wearing your footwear. Sympathetic of what the woman is feeling on the sidewalk outside, I dash out the door to assist. I don't, however, notice the small patch of black ice just beyond the doorway, and thwop, I suffer a similar fate. With us both on our butts now, I may not be able to experience the woman's pain, but I feel something close to it. After staring upward as if the sky is to blame, we share a smile before the woman finds solid ground, and then helps me up as well. You just listened to the posts titled, "I Was Not a Minimalist Until I Was," and "Walk a Mile in My Blisters," both by Joshua Fields Millburn of Minimalist.com, and I'll be right back with my commentary. Introducing your new Dell PC powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps you handle a lot, even when your holiday to-do list gets to be a lot, because it's built with all-day battery plus powerful AI features that help you do it all with ease, from editing images to drafting emails to summarizing large documents to multitasking. So you can organize your holiday shopping and make custom holiday decor and search for great holiday deals and respond to holiday requests and customer questions and customers requesting custom things, and plan the perfect holiday dinner for vegans, vegetarians, pescatarians, and Uncle Mike's carnivore diet. Luckily, you can get a PC that helps you do it all faster, so you can get it all done. That's the power of a Dell PC with Intel inside, backed by Dell's price match guarantee. Get yours today at Dell.com/deals. Terms and conditions apply. See Dell.com for details.
When it comes to what your family eats and drinks, you know your choices matter. You're the expert because you know what fits your life. And getting it right starts with good information. That's why America's beverage companies are sharing more information about our ingredients at goodtoknowfacts.org. No spin, no judgments, just the facts straight from the experts for more than 140 beverage ingredients. Visit goodtoknowfacts.org.
Thank you to Joshua. Not surprisingly, he's gone on to do even more since that first article was written, not just writing articles and books and teaching, but now a popular audio podcast, a video podcast, and I'd say an expert in both, and then multiple documentaries on Netflix, all from someone who had no experience in any of this. Well, not just someone, but both he and Ryan at the time, the Minimalist. It really is possible if we set our minds to it. And I can relate, it felt very similar for my business partner and me. And that leads into the next article. It is a struggle. It's not easy to do these things, which is why most people don't. But when you have someone along with you while they're not completely in your shoes, it's very, very close, feeling the same pressures and celebrating the same small wins. To me, that's a reminder that while doing it on your own is possible for sure, it does feel easier and maybe even more meaningful having someone along the way with you. So with that, thank you for being here along the way with me and for telling others about this show. That's the greatest thing you can do to help out. It really means a lot. So thank you again, and I'll be back tomorrow as usual, where your optimal life awaits.